Folks, on June 11th, 2024, I uploaded what is now one of the greatest videos on this channel that I will forever cite as evidence of my genius. The video is titled, Will the Loom of Fate Revive Khaenri'ah? Folks, just based on that title premise alone, I was correct. In the video, I said the Heavenly Principles created the ley lines a year before this was confirmed. I think we can safely reason the Heavenly Principles created the ley lines, maybe because they created the human realms? I was correct. In this video, I said Irminsul predates the arrival of the Heavenly Principles! Pure speculation on my parts, but part of what I think lends credence to the idea that Irminsul once belonged to the Lights Realm and thus predates the arrival of the Heavenly Principles is the fact that Irminsul is the root of the Dendro elements, and given the Dendro dragon existed in this world before the Heavenly Principles, then it seems like Dendro and its roots should also exist right beside it, and thus Irminsul should also predate the arrival of the Heavenly Principles. I was correct! I'm tired of motherfuckers seeing me as just a clown with nothing of veracity to offer. 3 years ago I said Demolik was a second descender. I was correct! I said the captain was carrying souls. I was correct! Kneel before my brilliance! Know that throughout heaven and earth, when it comes to celestial theories, I am the finish line! So listen close. Clip this, as a matter of fact, because when that dog shit dead on arrival chlamydia-filled leprosy-infested theory that is the Heavenly Principles is the twin ship's AI dies a well-deserved and painful fucking death in the future, like I'm saying it will, best believe I'm putting on my best bathrobe, my fucking crown, busting out the 6-year-old cigar I got at the back of my closet, the finest bottle of bourbon I got, and I'm gonna fucking celebrate that damn thing's downfall! My progenitor got a robot! Fuck you! Anyway, patch was cool. We played it on stream for the first time, and probably last time. I wanted to die by the end of it.
I'd consider that a happy ending. Dear Sucrose,
This fucking shit doesn't end!
ended long ago.
This fucking shit just doesn't end! But, you know, if you want to watch it, there are links below. Anyway, questions. Nahida gave us a cryptic message that says the statue of the gods are inverted, but one isn't, and its location is blank. What is this referring to, and why? The pyronosis is missing. Why? Nicole said it was the primordial humans who made the angels, but what exactly does this mean? Why? With Irminsul gone, Fate is allegedly dead. This is a load of horse shit we'll cover in the future, but why? Well, that's, you know, it's related. Long ass quest, but there wasn't a crazy amount of new stuff, just a whole lot of... The story starts in Nod Cry. Catherine gives us a letter from Kale where she just describes how things have been going for her and is then pulled away by her master Sethos. Kale's confused, asking where Tighnari is, but Sethos wonders why she's asking about the General Mahamatra. Everyone's seemingly switched places, you know, get a good look at fucking mercenary Nilou, because this is the only time she's going to appear in the next 7 hours. She finally finds Tighnari, explains to him there's some mass gaslighting campaign going on. He says the two have never met. Kale then cries like a little bitch, and she wakes up because it was all a dream. Nicole then speaks in her head. She doesn't introduce herself, but just tells her to report her dream to Nahida and us. We then head to Sumeru, find out after learning of Kale's dream, Nahida organized the mass evacuation of Sumeru as Kale's dream is likely to become real. We then head to Nahida, who's currently getting her ass handed to her by Irminsul, as she believes it has something to do with Kale's dream. Something is wrong with Irminsul, but no one knows what, but if left unresolved, the new info will stop being recorded in Irminsul, existing records will become corrupted, and the souls of the dead will become stranded. In the meantime, Nahida is acting as Irminsul's, recording and processing functions. You know, she's doing that for everything in Tevat right now. We reason Irminsul is being attacked from within, and it's then Nahida collapses. Her condition is bad, so we decide we need to flee Sumeru and take her with us. Over to Pantalone. I mean, I guess it's meant to be a mystery right now, but come on, man. You know, he's headed to his client and reaffirms he doesn't have a vision, but now he says weed. You know, so, you know, not just him doesn't have a vision. Probably the doctor, but I guess another spoiler. Whatever, bro. Over with the gang. These crackheads, who are allegedly the 6 sages, pull up and discuss the situation. Instead, a guard comes and informs us a group of civilians just went berserk and killed one another, meaning Irminsul's condition is beginning to affect the real world. We then head out to meet with Cyrus, who's investigating ley line blossoms that have sprouted en masse. While investigating, we realize to heal Nahida, we can just have a pep do it, so we go back and tell the others our plan, but before then, they share their own plan, which is to revive the Akasha terminals to access Irminsul for ourselves, but given we've no gnosis to power the Akasha, we need to head to the Temple of Silence and scour through Deshret's knowledge. We then share our pep idea and split up. We take Nahida to meet the smug bitch that is a pep who said she knew we'd be coming. She can sense something's wrong with Irminsul. She can also sense Sumeru is about to get clapped and is currently reveling in it. We tell a pep to heal Nahida. She says why. We say because, well, Nahida healed a pep. So a pep acquiesces and begins healing the small god. While waiting, a pep tells us Irminsul predates the existence of the heavenly principles. I was right, oh my fucking bro. And all they did was seize it and repurpose it. When they arrived, so, they made it serve as an anchor for fate. A pep then does the usual spiel, us dragons will be back one day. She then says she senses the Hydro Sovereign has gotten his authority back and is surely no doubt planning their revenge on the Heavenly Principles day and night. We then take a key from Nahida, and it's then a strange sentence enters our mind, and it's this. The statues of the gods hang inverted from the heavens, but one alone is unique among them. Its location is blank. Remember, tell no one. We leave Nahida with a pep and head to the Temple of Silence. We learn a bunch of djinn have been popping up, originating from Jurabad, which causes us to think of Lilapar. We decide to head to Jurabad, run into the Fatui, and Pantalone is pretending to be a subordinate of the Doctor. He taunts us, leaves. Over to Dory, she dies, and the djinn keep coming. Nicole speaks to Kale once more and has her recite a prayer once said by Nabu Malikata, which calms down all the djinn. A sage tries the same thing, but it angers the djinn, so for some reason the prayer only works when Kale says it. Over to us, Jet rescues us for some trap Pantalone left us in. We go to wake up Lilapar, which reunites the band, baby. We catch her up to speed, and she says she'll deal with the djinn, and we head back to the Temple of Silence and learn they want to recreate the Akasha system using Aru, which is just like an afterlife made by King Deshret, but we know it as a place where, the Ibis King and friends were locked up by Deshret. We find out Nicole and Nefer are here, and they tell us Sumeru is currently cut off from the rest of the world. A barrier has been thrown up around the entire nation, meaning no one can leave or enter. A barrier that was put in place by the heavenly principles as a failsafe for, Irminsul. They didn't actively throw that shit up. We ask why Nefer's here, and Nicole gives us a fucking 8-hour flashback about how she convinced Nefer to come. Something about fucking feelings. Holy shit, this part went on for way too long. And, Nefer says as much. Kaveh announces we're going to Aru. Nicole introduces herself, and Kale instantly recognizes that voice, so Kale requests to speak with Nicole. Nicole gets her fucking 1-on-7 conversation with Kale, because we family, baby. Nicole reveals the god remains inside Kale's body belongs to Nabu Malikata. At mention of her name, Lilapar appears. Apparently, when Malikala died, her fragments were scattered. Deshret reclaimed some, but others went missing, which means, the Doctor found them before the start of the game and just started fucking injecting them into people. Kale's dream was a warning sent by Malikata because of her instincts or some shit, The only thing I found odd about this whole scene is Nicole says the angels were made by the primordial humans, but prior to this, we've only ever had reference to one individual making the angels, and that's the heavenly principles. But even if humans, so plural is meant to refer to the heavenly principles and the shade of life, why are they being called the primordial humans? I don't think she dare blaspheme like that. We head back in and find some scholars who treat Nicole like a fucking Make-A-Wish kid over her shitty squirrel statue. We head back to Aru, and once again, the Ibis King is there to greet us. Lilapar laughs at the fact that the Ibis King and friends are imprisoned. They themselves question how the fuck she broke free from her prison that Deshret threw her in, but she refuses to say and taunts them even more. We tell the three we'll set them free, but in exchange we want their help. They then say sure, but remember, the only way they can become free is by receiving the correct answer to their, 3 questions, which Nefer correctly answers is time for all of them, and, they're set free. We update them with what's been going on in Sumeru, and when they learn a pep is healing Nahida, they nearly have a stroke.
The Dendro Dragon? I'm sorry, the Dendro Dragon is helping to heal the Dendro Archon?
Not a pep, surely.
Not vicious, cruel, a pep who possesses no virtues aside from her basic instincts. Ah, good heavens.
We tell them we want to use Aru as Irminsul. They aren't sure. They state it would take a lot of remodification of its systems. The three in attendance agree, but summon two other pillars to discuss. Apparently, even opening Aru requires the unanimous consent amongst the 7 pillars of King Deshret's. When they remind one another, though, that would also include a pep. News that she's healing the Dendro Archon quells their concern. They remind all in attendance, once they open and alter Aru, the souls in the golden slumber will return to the ley lines in the afterlife paradise. I guess is what they're calling that shit. Deshret Maid will forever be gone. We don't care, so they vote to open Aru. And bada bing, bada boom, it's open. Jet's father comes out, says bye, and heads into the ley lines. After reviewing the proposal, the Ibis King reveals there's actually a connection between Aru and the Akasha system, and it's quite simply, Aru was the original inspiration for the Akasha system. The Ibis King then gives us a history lesson. One day, Nabu Malikata descended from the heavens, created the Jinn, and along with 2 other gods, those 2 being Deshret and Rukkhadevata, or in this timeline, Kusanali, ruled Sumeru. We then learn that, the thing that actually got Nabu Malikata killed was she stole secrets, the secret technology from Celestia to give to King Deshret, and then she was burnt to ashes by Celestia. Deshret used the secrets she brought back, however, to create Aru using technology from Celestia. Originally, Deshret was going to use Aru to return to a time when Malikata still lived, but, it all wound up, it was just a fucking house for souls, because he died. Kaveh and Alhaitham make some adjustments to the system, and over to us, we are talking to old Crocky about Nahida and a Pep, who, appears with a wild Nahida. The pillars say what's up to a Pep, who in turn tells them to go fuck themselves and leaves. It's then Sarush and the Aranara appear. Really getting everyone involved. Nahida heads into Aru to get updated on the situation, but when she learns of it, she says given the state Irminsul is in, accessing it via the Akasha is impossible, so Alhaitham says it's time for plan B. The shot then swaps to us with Sino and Nefer. We decide to have Nefer investigate if there's a mole among us, and she immediately sniffs out a guy with an unmarked gold coin, and we take him down and interrogate him. And then we have Wanderer head to where the guy was supposed to meet his Fatui contact, and Paimon goes with him. No one ever shows though, so they leave. Over to Nahida, she's with the pillars and re-emphasizes an old but important point, which is a god's power is directly tied to whether or not people believe in them. She later says whoever invaded Irminsul did so by death, as that's the most direct way to enter Irminsul. They then lock down Irminsul and, cut off all connections, hence why we need to use Aru to access Irminsul. The pillars then ask who the invader is, but before Nahida can say, she's interrupted by Irminsul taking root in the real world. Nahida tells everyone this is the handiwork of the Doctor. She doesn't know how he did it, but he did it. We then head back inside and assign tasks. We then head to the border to meet up with Mawika. We can't physically meet her though, because the border, which Nahida says was thrown in place by the Heavenly Principles in case something went wrong with Irminsul. In such a scenario, in the eyes of the Heavenly Principles, it's better to let Sumeru die and have all of Teyvat live, just because the Heavenly Principles created everything in Teyvat, so, you gotta pick and choose your battles. We ask Mawika for the Pyronosis to power our Aru Akasha monstrosity, and she says, yeah, sure, fuck it. So the Traveler crosses the border, because they're not affected, and eats the Gnosis to return to the other side with the Gnosis. It's night now. We tell everyone hip hip hooray as tomorrow's the big day. The next day, we learn Nicole is apparently some sort of fucking track star, according to Kale. A flashback recaps, we're gonna use Aru to connect everyone to Irminsul and just pray that it overloads Irminsul and shuts it down.
Counting down. 3, 2, 1.
Are you ready?
Ready. return to the Tree of Wisdom. Today, we use it to save Sumeru and the whole world. These vows that nurtured learning must not become tools for destroying the world.
Stop.
Please stop. End this transformation.
You would shut down Irminsul just to stop me? You fools. I have all the time in the world.
Good God, it worked. Irminsul is now shut down. Nahida heads to the Eternal Oasis, and elsewhere, Pantalone is in, the sanctuary, speaking with Dottore, and reveals he's simply the executor of Dottore's will, as Dottore and him signed a contract. Pantalone is the one who placed Dottore's data into the ley lines. Dottore reveals Pantalone is going to die soon and has only made it this far thanks to his care. We learned Dottore split his soul in two. We fought one in Krai and the other was stored in Northland Bank. Dottore reveals at one point Pantalone was framed by a gang and sold off to a lab as a test subject. The fuck? Pantalone reminds Dottore he got his ass handed to him in Krai, but Dottore doesn't care and then reveals, he hints at the fact that he knows who Wanderer really is. He then reveals he's going to create a new world using Irminsul. Pantalone calls him nuts, but in a friendly kind of way. Dottore then ponders what would happen if they extracted his data, so Dottore's, combined it with Pantalone's soul. What would be the results? Pantalone says, nah, he's good though. He then heads off to buy Dottore as much time as possible to let him muck around in Irminsul. Over to us, we're storming Sumeru City. A hologram of Pantalone buys some time for the Doctor, but not a lot, while the real one is in fucking Narnia. We head to the Sanctuary, and with Wanderer, enter Irminsul, find Dottore, and he reveals he knows Wanderer is Scaramouche, and says what's up to his old friend. He figured out, he figured as much when he saw Wanderer and Cry. That's some bullshit. Dottore mocks Scaramouche for his dead friends, and we fight.
Does the prospect of death amuse you?
I can ask you the same question! I'll distract Dottore. You focus on the mission. Got it!
For the hopes and dreams of the masses.
Open the secret door on this enchanting night. May wisdom's light eradicate ignorance and darkness, and hereby fulfill our ancient vow. Commence data extraction.
Outdated ideals and stand in the way of progress. You will pay for interfering with the grandest experiment of all time.
timing.
Dottore, as clever as you are, you fail to understand wisdom. Wisdom takes many forms, but the path you have chosen eschews them all.
That's enough!
It's all yours. Do with it as you see fit.
Just as you say, this world is home to some archaic things. And as you suppose, you are a formidable opponent. You have long coveted the secrets of wisdom. So now, I will demonstrate true wisdom in action. I invoke my supreme authority as the keeper of Irminsul. Commend me or condemn me. But give your verdict now!
Nahida gets an impromptu meeting with 3 of the Shades. Asmodee obviously isn't here, but no word from Dottore. Odd. You know, they give her blessing to, Nahida's decision to burn down Irminsul, reasoning Nahida's a great tree herself.
The first flame. The pure, cleansing fire.
Shall we?
Where were we?
I was suggesting that you needn't perform when signing a contract.
You're only sitting here because your bank demanded an evaluation of the trustee.
So you told a story about a young scholar from a merchant family in Sumeru?
I told a compelling tale, didn't I?
The post-expulsion story is far more captivating.
The human experiments or the elixir of immortality?
The part where you die.
Ah, yes. My favorite part. The 35-year-old segment thought of himself as Dottore, reserving the name Zandik for the original specimen. Of all the segments, he was the most selfish. After his expulsion, Dottore searched for a new direction. He joined the Fatui, studied Elazar in great depth, secured resources. He was rather fortunate in his career. Zandik turned to Conrian technology and successfully created his segments. But this was not immortality. Even with backup segments, his body would still age. Still, thanks to Snezhnaya, Zandik found the ideal base for his experiments. Then a perfect partnership materialized at a crucial moment. The year that both parties realized they needed more time. Fortunately, Zandik succeeded. In a miraculous turn of events, he gained the extra time he needed.
I seem to recall it differently.
All right, it's true. No matter how much elixir he took, Zandik remained human and continued to age. Then, on the morning he turned 85...
Help me up! Call for help!
Surely he would be rescued, Zondik thought. But to his surprise, no one helped him. Zondik was too selfish for that.
Don't forget, you're one of us.
Yes, and we're all waiting.
Waiting for me to die.
Pantalone arrived for a meeting and happened to witness what followed. He found it unsettling.
I never said that.
But the Zondiks were unfazed. It was a rare opportunity for self-dissection.
What does all that have to do with you depositing your data at Northland Bank?
It has made me cherish my time in this world all the more.
Fair enough. So you do have a sense of self-preservation.
What do you mean?
You're hardly normal, and you don't cherish life. You just don't want to admit defeat in the limited time you have.
Even so, don't I deserve an interesting ending?
I'm counting on it.
If nothing else, I expect my funeral will be a grand affair indeed.
The story then comes full circle with Dottore staring at the burning tree. Pantalone joins him. Dottore bemoans he couldn't make an elixir of immortality, so Pantalone is bucked. Dottore says the grand experiment is now officially over and says goodbye to Theophan, which is Pantalone's true name, before vanishing. Nahida then tells that nigga to rest in piss, because they will never meet again. Ending scenes show a return to normalcy. Krai becomes a fully fledged forest ranger, powerful enough to judge the rest of the gods. We meet up with Nahida, who confirms she used the pyranosis to burn Irminsul to the ground, and now Aru is the world's new Irminsul. Just before, though, Nicole severed Nahida's connection to Irminsul and transposed it onto Aru, we get a letter from the Rooster, the Harbinger, that can just be summarized as, the Fatui have nothing to do with Dottore. Nahida says, with Irminsul gone, fate can now flow more freely. Again, I don't really buy it, but we'll cover it later. We then head with Nahida to Notlan to meet with Mawika and tell her the pyranosis is gone. It's missing, despite their best efforts to locate it, and not even Mawika can sense it. We then lay in the sun. Over in Mondstadt, Nicole removes the remains of Nabu Malikata from Krai for Lilapar, who then dies of joy upon seeing her goddess one last time.